Yay Media Group.
Super fast. More about your sex lives? I don't know about that. That's kind of weird.
I mean, you're reading the questions. You could skip that.
Oh, I'm trying to answer everybody's that I haven't.
You're in control here.
Hey guys, episode 75. Before we get started, I just wanted to say, sending all my prayers, you two, to everybody in Asheville, Western North Carolina right now. I have not watched the news and I didn't realize how bad they got hit from the hurricane. And there are like small little towns that are just wiped out. I don't do Facebook, and my Facebook isn't public, it's private. So pretty much everybody on my Facebook is in North Carolina that I'm friends with. And I got on last night and I was just seeing people that like I went to high school with whose parents have retired, and a lot of people retire and go up there to the mountains, or the beach. And people were saying, oh, my parents are okay. And there were videos of Appalachian up by Boone, the college.
Appalachian State.
Yeah. Flooding over there, and it's so sad. So prayers out to everybody over there. And again, I didn't know how bad it was. My brother, I talked to him, and he said that they got just bad weather. And my mom, her new husband, his father passed away. My mom had to go to the funeral. So my mom leaves in the evening. I forgot what day it was. She called me and the weather was bad. She was going to stop by her cousin's house, but her cousin was like, you need to continue on. Tomorrow's going to be worse. And her cousin is in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And my mom, on the way to the funeral, gets a flat tire on the interstate. State trooper had to help her, thank God. And she called me crying. I was like, it's okay. Stay on the phone with me. Just pull over, go to a lit area. But I'm like, Mom, you know there's a hurricane coming. Why would you leave in the evening when there's a hurricane? Why wouldn't you have just skipped? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think part of it, I mean, I know there was devastation. You told me like some
I was showing you
more
videos.
Horrific things. But you think it's partly like when California gets a big rain, they don't know how to handle it. And then especially in the hills, there's the mudslides and stuff. Cause I know when I visited North Carolina, it's hilly and stuff. If you guys get a little bit of snow, like with ice.
Oh yeah. They shut everything down. Like they had shut schools and all of that down. That could be.
Yeah. I'm not trying to minimize it. I'm just saying, I think if certain cities don't get that type of weather that they're used to, and they get more than the average amount, that it is kind of devastating because they don't know how to handle it. And nobody knows how to like drive in the snow if you're from a warm climate, and like if you live in Chicago, you have the salt trucks out, you're
but
ready
out
to
in
go.
The snow, but up in the mountains, they know how to handle that.
Even like the flash floods, because I think that's what happened, right?
Yeah, the flooding. I'm saying snow, they know how to handle because they get snow up there. But no, the flash floods, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But these towns are so old and it's just so sad. There's actually a couple in our neighborhood. They do Airbnbs. And there is a family right now staying at their Airbnb. Their business, that was their business.
A couple in our neighborhood here in Colorado.
Yes, here in Colorado. They have a family from Asheville staying at their Airbnb right now because they had two businesses, Airbnb businesses of rentals, Asheville and Florida, and they lost both their homes.
Wow. But they got to have insurance, right?
Oh, I'm
for sure for the one in Florida.
But I mean, how terrible. That's their income.
I know. I was talking to somebody, I think we're talking about the same person, but we were talking about that. And like, I guess all the boats and stuff down in Florida got wiped out. It's like one of his friends had a GPS on his boat, was at the dock, and he just saw it like going out to the ocean. And I think it sunk, but I'm sure all that's insured.
Yeah.
But with hurricanes every year, that insurance has got to be pretty high, knowing that that's a good chance the hurricane's going to wipe out something once a year.
Well, that's what they say in North Carolina. The most expensive part is if you're getting a beach house is the insurance.
Right.
Which that's understandable because my mom, I always told her I want a beach house. And everybody that my mom knew that moved to the beach, they were like, the insurance is insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to have it. You got to cover it.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a storm. But anyways, prayers to everybody there. Today we are going to do a Q&A. A lot of questions.
We are?
Yes. Love answering your questions, connecting. So many questions. I think the majority of our questions are everybody wants an update. Did you find a job?
Oh boy.
Did you get asked to do the Big Brother Roundtable because you're out of a job?
Oh.
And people wanted to know why you didn't host when Julie was out. Why they didn't ask you? So there's a lot of job questions for you.
Okay.
People want to know an update. I'm just kind of rounding out everything because I was like going through them all, and a lot of them were pretty much the same. So we'll just go in that order. So first of all, people want to know, do you have a job?
Well, that makes me feel good. Thanks for being concerned about my livelihood. No, I don't have a job. And I did meet with some people this week, which is nice to get in a room and get in front of people and, and talk. Yeah. So that made me feel good, even though nothing has come of it yet. It made me feel good to get out there and just go see other places, talk to new people. Cause I'm sure a lot of you listeners you either have somebody or know somebody that's kind of struggling or between jobs right now because it's tough out there. And I don't know if you know anybody in the entertainment business, especially, it's really tough. A good friend of mine, a bunch of my friends over at CBS.com/Paramount, because they're one company now, they just got a second wave of layoffs, and a bunch of my friends were involved in that. So they had 2 waves of layoffs. CBS, Paramount, Entertainment Tonight cut their staff by dozens. So everything is just downsizing and everything's becoming multimedia journalist. And I didn't know exactly what that was, even though I'm in this business. Multimedia journalist is kind of, you go out and you film, you write your own story, you film your own thing, and then you send it into editors, and then they edit it for you, and you kind of read the story on television or online, whatever you're doing. That's kind of like where at least my business is going, from what I've heard, and everything I applied for is multimedia journalist, meaning there's no producers that write your stories necessarily, not, at least the ones I looked at. And I'm more into like a system, but I think they're cutting back on that system. So I'm more like, there's a producer. I like to collaborate with the producer on what's going to go into the teleprompter or whatever for me to do that stories. Then the producers will pick out the packages that we're doing and get images to support our story, and that's where like you buy stories. That's where people make money taking pictures of celebrities. So then you buy that from, whatever source. I know that's a lot of information, but the short answer is no, I haven't found anything yet. I don't even have an offer on the table yet, but I did have some interviews this week, and
they were promising, but they didn't say
and
you were getting the job.
Like my dream still is to do I love being out in the public, hosting things, whether it's my dream is to have an Anthony Bourdain job. And even if that means local here in Denver, there's so many mountain towns and foodies and breweries and so many places to go on the weekend, and what's happening here in Denver. I've pitched that to a bunch of different places, and everyone kind of has that in some sense or another, even if it's a package supporting their news, but nobody has that specific job. And to be honest, I met with somebody this week, and he kind of gave me this one line phrase. He goes, it's news or it's not. And he goes, we're all news here, and I was like, that makes sense. Because Daily Blast Live, one of the creators of Daily Blast Live is friends with this guy that I met with. And he kind of bridge that gap between news and not, because he wanted more entertainment with the news. And that's what Daily Blast Live was.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason, I'm sure there's multiple reasons for us getting canceled, but part of that reason was because it wasn't news or not. And the news stations are looking for news now, and they're looking to downsize. And even when you're in the studio, again, I'm comparing this to Big Brother and what I know, our studio had a bunch of producers, a bunch of PAs, a bunch of executive producers and camera people and sound guys and switchboard people, all of it. Now, when you go into a news station and I do a little segment, there's not even camera people in the room.
I know,
you
it's
set up
so
the camera,
awkward.
like you set up the camera and then you go back to the switcher and you're the one making the switches on the switches.
But they're not paying people more and they're doing all of that.
And they're the ones getting the shots. Like if me and you were switching, so you'd switch between me and you. That's what like the switcher does. I don't know the proper name, and they're the ones setting up the camera shot. So they're going from this part of the studio to this part of the studio, and the people now are running their own prompters. At Daily Blast Live, we had someone running the prompter. That's usually the norm, but now you kind of have a switcher in your hand or a pedal underneath your desk, and you're writing your own stories and putting in your own packages. And then there's something called the ENPS where you have to input all of those things into it so it shows up on the prompter and you know what pictures to take at what time, you know what I mean, when you're telling your story. So there's a lot that goes into it. And I loved learning about all that stuff. I know I'm probably boring or talking over people's heads.
I didn't know all this, so it's interesting to me.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is all that's downsizing. And I don't know if there still, I'm sure there is, but I don't know how many jobs are out there where it is that team atmosphere, which I really like, with, collaborating with my producers, or they'll write the stories and I'll switch it, which they don't necessarily like, but I just usually make it smaller. Just so
you might just have to do the news.
And I might just have to do the news, but I'm hopeful. I don't know what's going to happen in the next coming months. I don't know if the election will have any impact on what happens in the next coming months, and it's coming towards the end of the year, and usually people start to wind down in the entertainment business, but then they have to gear up for the new year. So yeah, it's nothing's on the table. It's only been 3 weeks to a month right now.
Yeah.
So
eventually, probably in the new year, you'll have to decide.
I'm going to have to do what I have to do in the new year.
Yeah.
I could hold out for a little bit longer, but I'm getting anxious.
I know. I was talking to Lawson about it, and I was saying, like, we're trying to stay here, but the options are very limited what Jeff can do. And
let's take a quick break, then we'll come back and keep going with this.
Okay. I drink my AG1 every single morning, and I feel like your AG1 gets you on the right track to start a healthy morning routine.
Yes.
I have been doing lately. Normally I like drinking it like a drink, but then I'm so full, but I've been copying you. I'm doing 4 ounces now.
Yeah, and just pound it.
I was doing 8 ounces. I like drinking it.
Yeah, I miss my routine these days, but if there's one thing that's stable in my daily routine, it's drinking AG1 first thing in the morning.
The vitamin C and zinc in there, I say that every single time. Definitely for immune support. And I have to keep my immune system up. I'm one of those people that get sick easily. And since taking AG1, I've been pretty healthy.
AG1 contains prebiotics, probiotics, and gut-supporting ingredients to support your digestion, reduce bloating, and keep you regular, which is important. Speaking of routines.
I'm regular. Listen, y'all, I'm trying to clean my gut.
Well, in a research study for you, Jordan, 80% of participants noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1.
And AG1 has all non-GMO ingredients and contains no added sugar. And I've actually been trying to stay away from sugar because since not drinking alcohol, I crave sugar.
Yes. That's
so start with AG1 and notice the difference for yourself. It's a great first step to investing in your health. And that's why they've been a proud partner of ours for so long.
Like you said, Jordan, just one daily scoop provides your whole body with benefits like gut, immune, and stress support, which we both could use right now. So try AG1 and get a free bottle of Vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packets. Trust me, you're going to want those with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/togetherness. That's MESS.
That's a $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/togetherness.
You got to check it out.
Welcome back.
All right. So you were talking to Lawson about possibly leaving?
Well, I go, listen, your dad's trying and he's doing what he can do to stay, but we're very limited here on options. What
as
he
far
can
as the
do.
Entertainment business goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not lack of me sending out my resume. I've sent it out to dozens of places, and I
Yeah.
just haven't heard back at all. So I don't know why they're posting those, if they're not going to contact you back. I don't know how many people are applying, and I don't know how many people are applying with 7 years, specifically the last 7 years, going back 15 years. I mean, I've been on dozens of shows, this one for over 7 years. So how many people out there in Denver have that kind of experience? And I'm not even getting calls back.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a little frustrating. But
Tell everybody what I made you do. And you were like, you like rolled your eyes at me.
Oh, so I'm more realistic these days just because I have to support a family. I used to swing for the fences when I was younger, and like, I know I could do that. My mindset's changed a little bit because I want to be more realistic and I just want a job for insurance purposes. And I still want to love what I do though. So Jordan is like, what, Hoda?
So I love Hoda. I think she's amazing. I just love her personality. I haven't watched that show in a really long time because I just don't really watch TV, but I love her and she just seems so sweet and I want to be her friend. But she's leaving the Today Show. So I told Jeff, I said, listen, they might have somebody, but just send it in. You never know. They might need, what if one of them go on vacation? They might need somebody. Just send it in. And then you gave me a look like, yeah, right. Are you serious? And then I saw this article that they did have somebody in mind, but wasn't sure if they were going to take it. If not, they said like Carson Daly and some other person. I have no idea who it was, some other male. So I go, you got experience. Why not? Send it. It's a lottery. I won Big Brother. That's a lottery. I got picked out. That's a lot. Who would have thought that would happen?
Yeah.
It's all luck. It's all who you know. And I was like, just do it. You never know. What if they change directions and somebody's like, oh, I do recognize that guy. And who knows? What if it happens? And then you can thank me later.
Okay. Well,
but if they don't call you back, who cares? Nobody's calling you back here in Denver. So why not reach for the stars and send it to somebody out in New York? So if anybody listening out there, try to help him out here.
yeah. Well, my agent did send my stuff over there. I assumed he did. I asked him to reluctantly, but I guess you're right. You
have to. I mean,
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you got to take a shot, but the rejection when you're in between jobs starts to build,
Yeah.
and it's back to, I understand this is how I came up and I was told no 10,000 times, but it kind of stings a little more. And I have to get over that with as much experience as I have and where I'm at in the industry, and just hearing those no's and no's and no's and sending out dozens of applications. It's like, it's kind of heartbreaking, it's a little bit discouraging, not heartbreaking.
I can tell because I told you the other day ago, I can see it on your face now. Like before you go through these waves, like where you're like, yes, I got this. And then you go back and I can tell you're feeling bad about yourself. And then you go back again, but Daily Blast Live was a lottery.
Oh yeah.
And you got that. So who knows?
I'm just going to keep pushing
keep pushing. Whatever's meant to be will happen. And hopefully we do not have to move because eventually money will run out. But it's all about my kids. If it was just Jeff and I, and our kids were really little and they didn't have their friends, I'd be like, let's go put the house up for sale and let's go to a little beach town and we'll figure it out. But like Lawson and Layton are so happy here. I can't do it to them.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
just,
even if I did get something else out of state,
you could
commute. Probably commute the first year to make sure it's solid. Anyways, you know.
I don't know. I just can't. When I think about it, I want to cry because I can't do it to Lawson or Layton. And then, okay, next one. This is just what people have asked. Roundtable.
For Big Brother?
Yeah. I think Big Brother already has their people that they use now on the regular. So I would be extremely shocked if they asked you.
Yeah.
Which I think you're last on their list. Or even if you're on a list.
I don't think I'm even on
Yeah,
I
don't think you're on a list.
I've been there and done that. And some people like seeing familiar faces and some people don't. And I think they do already have their list, people that were more current, and I get that. And when I lived there, I was also local, so they didn't have to pay for travel and things like that. But if they reached out, I would be, now's the time. I have nothing going on, so I'd be more than happy to do that for them. And I am watching the season, but finale's February 13th. Or October 13th, I'm sorry.
Lawson's birthday.
Yeah.
I'm not even watching this season, so I have no idea who anyone is.
Yeah, I just caught up. They just had a double eviction. Brought back some old memories.
Was it a good one?
Kind of. Not really. Not really. They're down to 5 now, but I remember that's when I went out the first time we played. Down to 5. That house looks so small when you start getting down, you know, but like I said, the player, there's no like real threats now. It's kind of just there's like,
it's
3
like
against 2. It's like a 3 against 2 scenario.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, I didn't see the HOH.
What's going to happen?
What's going to happen. But yeah, they're going to have to get that roundtable done in the next week or 2 because they usually do it a week before. Or no, when the last person gets eliminated. But you do have to do some prepping. At least I love to prep. Like I have to be prepped before I go on a job or before I read the prompter. I can't just go out there cold and do it. And they would never do that to anybody. But I think they have other people in mind for this year.
Other thing people were writing, why did they ask that guy Jerry and not Jeff when Julie was out sick? Why people were like, why didn't Jeff do it? But that would never happen ever.
That would never happen. Yeah, Jerry O'Connell is
He's
staple.
hilarious.
They film at this studio called Radford Lot. That's where Big Brother's filmed. The Talk is right across, AKA the street, even though it's on one lot. It's like right next door to the Talk is right next door to Big Brother house. And he's a huge like Bravoholic. Yeah. He loves reality TV. He was a great fit to just pop in there.
Yeah.
And,
I think
They would never ask me to do that. They would never have a former player step on Julie's toes like that.
Yeah.
So to speak. You know what I mean?
There's no Big Brother without Julie. Like Julie is whenever
it's the same as Amazing Race and Survivor.
Right.
Like if you plug someone else in there, it's not really the same.
Right. It's definitely not the same. And Julie is just perfect at it. But
I laugh.
Big Brother will be done when Julie says she's done.
Yeah. I laugh when people like you tell me that and my mom tells me, I'm like, that's not happening. What kind of
Hang on. I'm looking at more and it's why didn't Jeff do that? It's just people watching.
I appreciate the support. I really do. But it comes down to, business decisions and other different things like that. But I don't think I was even on the radar, to be 1,000% honest with you.
Yeah. You're not on CBS's radar at all, period.
You're out. Circle of trust.
You're out of it.
So don't expect me and CBS to do anything anytime soon.
Yeah.
Even though I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, more DBL questions. Okay, a lot of people are asking me, but I feel like I've repeated myself about this spot here, skin cancer. So it did come back that it was skin cancer. It's right here on my face. Was just like a tiny little red dot. I thought it was a pimple. It was new. I was picking at it actually. And when I went to the dermatologist and she did a skin check, she asked me, what is this? And I was like, a pimple. I don't know. And she goes, I need to biopsy that. And in my head, I'm like, really? And because I always thought, I don't know what I thought, but she goes, that looks like basal cell. It came back positive for basal cell. So thank God it's that. If it was melanoma, I would freak out. But the lady's like, if you are going to get any type of skin cancer, you want this. And so I have to go this week. I actually go Wednesday. I meet with the surgeon, the Mohs surgeon. And I really don't think it's going, like my dad had 88 stitches across his forehead. My mom just had it on her nose. They said they typically see it in people my parents' age, not in people my age. But I'm really not surprised. I mean, I grew up at the beach. I lived on the beach. And California, and then now being here, I'm such a sun person. And then now I'm like, well, there's another spot here that just came up that looks this exact same as the basal cell. So when I go in, I'm going to have him check this. It's the tiniest little spot. So now I'm like, oh no, what if this is basal cell too? She thinks I have skin cancer on my back. I don't have any spots on my upper back. So I can't see. So I didn't know what she was talking about. I have to go back in a couple weeks and see her. She's going to do more biopsies on my back. And, like I said, hopefully this is just a little bit. The only thing I'm worried about is the stitches, because I mean, it's just like right here in front of my face. It's not like you can hide it on the side of your face with your hair. It's like right dab in the middle. But wear your sunscreen.
Yeah.
And I didn't start taking care of my skin till I was later. We covered, my family's all okay.
Let's take another quick break, and then we'll come back and try to do rapid fire.
Okay. How is Lawson and Layton doing in sports this year? Lawson's doing great. Layton's still learning the game. He doesn't really know what's going on.
But it's his first time in any organized sport. So
all I ask is that he participate and you try, and he's doing that. So I'm proud of him.
Yeah. And the team wasn't good last week. It was a lot of kids' first time.
Yeah.
And they were all over the place, like putting kittens in a box. And this week they actually won.
They did great.
So they improved. And that's all you could ask when they're that young, is just try to learn something, improve, even if it's one thing, and improve week to week. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But I'm proud of Layton for trying. He doesn't know what's going on. And Lawson is, he's always improving and doing good. Yeah.
Right.
So,
what is your dream kid-free vacation?
Oh man.
I've always said anywhere where there's like clear water and you're doing nothing.
Yeah. Probably
That's
something
me.
like that.
I'm not the type of person to go on a trip. I don't like going on trips and like doing zip lining and doing activities. I just want to be by the beach or the pool, and I will be happy.
Yeah, but even if we went alone, which would be nice, but like if we went on like say we went to Thailand or something, I'd be like, oh man, I wish the kids were here to see this,
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword kind of.
If it's more of like an adult, I wouldn't think that way.
Right.
Like
if you go to Vegas or something, then it's like, then that's a fun weekend for adults. But if it's something like Europe or Asia or something.
Like when we were in Palm Springs, I kept saying, oh, the kids would love it here when the resort we stayed at. When is Jeff going to finally market his Jardiniere?
It's coming. I'm actually going out of town this week, and I'm finalizing some other things that I have in the works. I want to get that out there first. It might involve some of those Togethermess shirts that we gave away on our big YouTube giveaway. So I'm going to finalize that. And then those should be coming on sale, hopefully for the holidays. We're going to try to get that going. So we're going to have some Togethermess gear out there, but that's what I'm finalizing this week. Hopefully.
Yes.
And then after that is Jardiniere. For sure.
Yeah. Maybe these jobs aren't working out because you're meant to do Jardiniere.
Maybe.
Would Jeff ever consider being a Fox? There's so many Jeff jobs. Fox commentator.
Like a
Fox.
Political commentator?
It didn't say political. It just said Fox.
I'll work for anybody. Fox, CBS, NBC, whoever will have me.
What is the board game that you played with your neighbors? Incoherent.
Oh, wow.
I think that's it. The card game. It wasn't a board game. It was a card game with our neighbors. It was so much fun.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for a game, Incoherent's a good one, especially if you're drinking.
Yes. Where did Jeff go to high school? My boys all went, and one goes to Notre Dame.
Notre Dame in Illinois?
Yeah. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Ridgewood High School. So it's Notre Dame's not that far. I think one of my buddies coach over there. But yeah, like Maine South area, Notre Dame, those are all kind of, within, but ours was like a smaller, like public school.
Must have snack when grocery shopping. What do you refuse to buy?
What?
Must have snack when grocery shopping.
Oh, I kind of got like
nuts.
Yeah, I got my like Costco stuff down. I love Costco has this sugar-free beef jerky, and it's my favorite beef jerky. I get that every time I go. I get a bag of macadamia nuts because I just get a handful, and they're pretty well priced. It's like $14 for a giant bag of macadamia nuts. So nuts, cheese, and beef jerky is kind of my jams.
My favorite thing at the grocery store lately has been, it's a snack box. It's just like it fills you up. Well, not really fills you up, but it's kind of like a protein, like stop and go. You can get cheese and it comes with nuts and cranberries. Like it's just a small little snack thing. And I like snacking on those instead of eating a whole meal where you feel super full.
Yeah.
Or I'll grab like a coffee.
What kind of snacks? That was random, but I like it.
I know. I like random. It's different. It's different than what we're used to. Would you ever go on reality television again, Jeff?
It depends what it is now. You know?
I'm not really into that. I mean, maybe like if they asked traders, which they never would, but if they did, maybe. But like anything other than that, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm open. Like I said, I'm pretty open to do whatever.
I'd rather you have a real job and not go on reality television.
But if it was a fun adventure, you know, like if it was something exciting, I would love to do that because it's just, I'm more on it for the experience than anything else, you know?
And I don't mean that rude. I'm just saying people think that because other people are in reality shows, you make all this money and you don't. If you're on a hit show, I say this every single time. If you're on a hit show like Jersey Shore, Selling Sunset, yes, you're probably making money, but other people keep going back on these reality shows because you might get paid $100,000 to go on this show. But again, after taxes, everything, it's gone. I'd rather you have a career than keep going back on reality shows to pay bills.
But at this point, it's like, you know,
you're going to find something.
I'll take any opportunity that comes. At least there's something on the table for me to contemplate.
Did you go to Hawaii? We never did. Jeff cashed in.
Why do people still ask that?
Because that was, I guess, a big thing. We were on Big Brother. And no, Jeff cashed it in. Are we planning on staying in Colorado? For now, we are. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't have to move. Our neighbors would hate us. How do you decide what products to use to endorse? Love listening. Continued blessings. So we always try to find things that we really believe in or things that we like.
Right.
Like, for instance, we always talk about AG1. We actually use that. For me, beauty products, it's easy. Like sometimes if I don't really know about a product, I still want to try it because I love beauty products and I just a product junkie and I just love that. Like Mary Ruth's vitamins, because we're heading into fall. I keep seeing all these people working with them and I'm like, I want to work with them because they are, I don't know, because it's all natural. It's like good stuff. Yeah. Like if our kids get sick, but.
Yeah, you obviously want a good fit. And we've pitched of things that we've actually used, but then the company's not interested. And then sometimes the company will send us stuff. And we've said no, to other sponsors in the past that it just wasn't a good fit. So usually the products that we endorse on the show are more or less things that we want to try or that we have tried in the past.
Mm-hmm. Or just like fit. Well, you want to put it out there? Isn't that what is it? BLT shirt?
Oh, BLT? Like
what
a bacon, lettuce, and tomato?
What's the shirt?
Built. BYLT.
BYLT. Yeah. Those are Jeff's favorite.
Build clothing.
That's who
we're
Jeff
not even
wants.
Endorsed by them, but I wear them like all the time. So for men, if you're looking for women, if you shop for your husbands or husbands shop for whoever you are, Built's got some good stuff. They have women's stuff too, but my body type and how it fits me, I love their stuff.
You look good on them.
Yeah.
What have you done to manage your stress through all of this? Mine's like walking or just basically facing it head on, just being like, this is what's happening. I mean, we all go through it. And some days when I'm about to start my period, I did have like a little emotional breakdown a couple weeks ago. It's just everything just hit me. But I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It's life and it's face it head on and stay positive. And my faith, I pray about it, read my Bible and hoping that God's going to provide. That's my take. What's yours?
Yeah, you find inspiration from different places, whether it's your family or your kids or something you saw online or a TV show or something. I just try to grab inspiration, my community, my friends, my family. Those, you just got to find inspiration somewhere because it's only going to take one job, but I'm still in the position, luckily, where I could wait for that good job. There's going to, time is ticking and I'm going to have to do what I have to do at some point. But right now I'm still shopping myself around and things that I really are passionate about because, you want to care more about it. If I was digging a hole, there wouldn't be the same passion,
Right. You'd just be like, you wouldn't be happy.
Right.
Okay. 2 more and we're done. We'll say super fast. More about your sex lives. I don't know about that. That's kind of weird.
I mean, you're reading the questions. You could skip that.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going right down the middle. I'm trying to answer everybody's that I haven't.
You're in control here.
I don't know. I don't think people want to hear that.
It's healthy. It's good to go.
How do you keep marriage strong? And we'll end on that.
Communication.
We just talk it out. And we have had to work out our kinks and ugly cry and talk about everything. But once you lay that foundation, your house starts building and it works. But we don't really fight. We bicker about dumb stuff. Yeah. But if anything, you walk away, I walk away, we don't talk, and then we meet back in the middle and we'll act like nothing happened. I'm like, you want to go to get a coffee? And you're just like, yeah. And then we ignore each other. But no, I think it's more we respect each other and communicate. And again, you guys, if something's bothering you, you have to say it. You can't hold it in. You just got to ugly cry and fight and get it out. And then you feel better.
You can have your ups and downs in life, whether it's your relationship or career.
Nothing's perfect. Yeah. Nothing is perfect. And it's all work. If both of you want to work at your marriage, it's going to work. If one's working at it and the other one's not, that is going to be a little bit harder. You both have to make it work.
All right. Professional advice from Jordan Lloyd.
Somebody did say, dude, I heard you reference Stone Cold. Were you WWE fans? And it made me laugh because I'm like, no, it's a YouTube video. Jeff and I used to crack up and watch this guy's dressed up as E.T. and he'd go through the drive-through and he would say, this is Stone Cold E.T. and it was just something silly. But I did, when I was in 7th grade, I used to watch wrestling. I loved it.
Treat yourself and watch Stone Cold E.T. on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's a throwback. It's really funny.
It's a throwback from a long time ago that we would laugh at. But okay, hope you love this episode. Thank you again for continuing to like, download, subscribe, tagging your friends. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you again.
Thanks for the questions and the support, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yay Media Group.